Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Corner podcast. I'm Cam Wren, and they say an apple a day keeps the doctor away. I'll tell you, I haven't touched an apple because healthcare is so bad in the United States that I need the doctor to come to me.
That went all over the place, and yet so true, bestie.
Thank you so much.
Soy cam damage. Como se dice, don't touch the cornballer.
And today, we are going to be speaking about a pastime that has happened for a while. We're going to be talking about electronic video games.
Yeah, and I wanted to do this one because you have some big news for everyone, so...
That's some big news on the video game front. All right, everybody. So today, we're going to be speaking about video games in a way where people play them and enjoy them. Have you ever played video games?
I have. I've experienced several different consoles, handheld and not, although I suppose they're all handheld because you're holding a controller. But you know what I mean. We're talking about a Game Gear. We're talking about a Game Boy when I say handheld.
A Game Gear?
Like the Sega?
Oh.
I don't remember that, like back in the day. So do we want to do this chronologically is the question, or do we want to get right into the hot news of the week that you are so eager to tell everyone here at the Corner?
I honestly think that we should start talking about where did you play a video game being? Because I don't think of you as a gamer at all. 0%.
No, not now.
Yeah,
it was the time.
But when you think about a game.
Yeah, so that was like childhood, like video games, childhood, adolescence, early, or not even 20s, frankly, but like late teens, whatever. So I was a big, like, playing the Game Boy alone or like in the car with the reading light on the Game Boy because they didn't have the backlights when we were kids.
Those little LED lights.
Yeah.
Those things are really so cool.
And then they did the backlight one. It was like, holy shit.
It was a big deal.
Yeah. Video games are a big part of my like toddler development because there's actually a home video of the first time that I was going to hold on, there you go. Okay. That I was gonna walk, and my oldest sister is playing what was like the Super Nintendo, the really early one, Nintendo, and she shoves me down.
Oh my god.
Because I was like distracting her from the video games. So that's really important to me.
What did you play? Like, what did you like to play on it?
So like, I think we should both go over our standout games on the consoles. So like, farthest back, Super Nintendo.
Yes.
Super Mario 2 and 3, I think, were the like ones I played a lot.
Yeah, those all kind of run together for me. I don't really ever remember which one's what.
Same, but the 8-bit animation.
Yeah.
Side scrolly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But my sisters and I also played this track and field one that like you know how the DDR has the mat for home playing?
Yes.
Like the mat you put on the ground. So it had one of those. And like you would do track events like running in place and like hurdles and stuff. And we would just sit there on the ground and like beat it with our hands.
God.
Which like in retrospect is like,
that's not how that works.
Fun. Yeah. But Duck Hunt was on there too.
Did you like Duck Hunt?
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, I really liked it.
Also the music.
I can't even think about the music right now.
It's like just a little ditty, and then the dog goes like at the end, and then you start doing the duck hunt. That's it.
And then you start doing the duck hunt,
and then it begins.
I've never thought about it in terms of like it's an item that you like do. Like I don't know. But I do remember
the whole basis of the game.
I remember playing it and just being like, "Holy shit, this is so cool!" Like you could like Well,
it is kind of wild to think about, though, that because you had the little gun and you aimed it and it worked. And I don't think of like us playing video games in the 90s as that technologically advanced.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How'd they do that?
I have no idea. It's also wild to think about the fact that, can you turn your gain down just a smidge, by the way? It's also like the tiniest little smidge. The big
first one?
Yeah. It's wild to think about the fact that games have come so far in our game time, like as kids, you know? It's pretty wild because like when I got an N64, I remember running around the courtyard in Mario 64 and going in circles and just being truly mind blown that it was 3D.
And like triple jumping just for like a half hour.
Yeah. I think I've talked about this a couple times, but there was a YouTube essay, like a video essay on this. I'm just stealing it from the video essay, but when you start that game, it's so cool because first there's that sequence where it's Mario Head and you can pull his face.
Yeah. Oh my God, I forgot about that. That was like the mini game of it all.
Yeah. But then once you start, there's like some kind of music and the camera comes and sweeps. It goes under a moat and it goes in the air and turns. It like gives you this 360 like camera tracking, which is wild. What?
Yeah.
And there's a cat. Oh my God. Everybody, there's a cat.
I took away her way down, so here she goes. Anyway.
But then the camera comes and goes behind Mario and he comes out of a tube and he sits there and there's no music. And there's nothing like to push you forward. Also, the castle gate, like where you walk into the castle, which is like the first thing you need to do, is so far away from where you are. So like,
is it? I don't remember that.
It is. So
are you watching this?
Yeah.
For everyone who's just on the audio portion, to put up the blackout curtains in my room because we're recording remotely here, I took away my cat's way down. Well, she just figured it out. It's not a far jump, but it was a thrilling time for both of us here to witness. And if you want to watch, then watch on YouTube.
YouTube.com/@thecorner. But anyway, it was just wild because you weren't being like, games always motivate you to go somewhere. But like the beginning of that game doesn't, which is really cool. So it just kind of allows you to take it in. It's like, I guess the devs understood that this was going to be the first time people would ever have true
like open world navigation stuff.
Yeah, like true like 3D.
Yeah.
That they'd be able to interact with.
So I am someone who prefers like path games, like there you can explore a region, but like there is a set path or whatever. But Mario's pretty like Mario 64 was kind of like the first one for our age group that was like, yeah, you're supposed to do these objectives, but there's all this other, you can go like wherever in this little world.
I think it did a really good
falling off.
I think it did a really good job of keeping, I think it's like 8 stars in each world. I think I don't remember, but they did a really good job in keeping like 4 of them would be easy, 1 would be super hard, and the others would be kind of hard. And you don't need all 120 to beat the game to get to like the final Bowser. So
what do you need? I forget. You know so much more about Mario 64 than I do.
I don't know I think it's maybe 70 stars. Yeah, it would. I think it's 70 stars to open that last Bowser door. I don't remember the right way to do it, but there's 120 total, and you only need X amount to beat the game, and you can go back and get them all, and then Yoshi shows up on top of the castle, and which is pretty neat. But
amazing.
I just think it's cool because, like you said, like open world stuff's so stressful, but like Mario did feel like it was open world, but it was like encapsulated little areas.
So I have several questions about childhood video game playing, and not about the games themselves necessarily, but kind of. Was there ever a game that made you like cry from frustration or like emotionally?
Well, I think I've told you the story one time. It was like my best friend growing up. we played Final Fantasy X. Like that was like huge.
I've never
game.
played a single Final Fantasy. I played Kingdom Hearts, and that's the closest I got. But yeah,
10 was it is iconic. It's
why?
Because the graphics took a massive step up. So accessibility, like storytelling, was easier in it.
Okay.
Versus Final Fantasy VII, which came out on the PlayStation 1. The graphics were hard. The story was all told through text. Really.
Oh, okay.
So it was hard to get what was going on. I mean, like, you could get it, but it was just difficult. Whereas Final Fantasy X had voice actors that were really good, that had like cutscenes that were beautiful, like movies. It was really enthralling in that because it was on the PlayStation 2. And I'm kind of making this up, but I think the technology got to a point where it made sense to do that.
I mean, probably PlayStation 2 was like a huge jump forward from PlayStation 1 and like was awesome. I still have my PlayStation 2. There's so many games on it that rule.
Yeah. For me,
anyway,
the thing that made it hit so hard was that the battle system changed from turn-based. Like, well, it's always in turn-based, but like, it's like you go, they go. You go, they go.
Yeah,
so you had
that's what I don't like about Final Fantasy.
Yeah, so 10, there were early games, I think like 1 and 2 or something, had that where it's like you go, they go, you go, they go. And the ATB bars of like going like that stressed me out as a kid. I didn't really understand it. So like 7 and 8 were hard for me to play. I did, but it was just like difficult. But anyway, back to your original question. I deleted my friend's game, and we had been playing it for. We put a lot of time into this, getting the full sphere grids for everybody, which is like overkill. It's way a lot. And then I accidentally wrote over it on his memory card.
And what happened?
He cried.
I have a similar devastating one.
He cried out of sadness.
Yeah.
And it wasn't anger, it was like sadness. And I felt, I mean, it's like there's nothing I could do. And I felt.
How old were y'all?
I guess teenagers.
Like young teens, let's say that to save face here.
Yeah, it was. But I also didn't really understand. I remember when I got the first memory card, I didn't understand how it worked because it said overwrite. And I was like, I don't want to overwrite. Like, I didn't understand the concept of a memory card.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I had to ask.
We weren't taught that stuff.
Yeah, I had to ask. Actually, I had to ask my best friend's older brother. I was like, how does this work? He was like, oh, you have to do this.
He tricked you into overwriting it to hurt his brother.
Well, these are two separate things. I just fucked up because we had multiple save games on it.
Yeah.
On his memory card. So that's how it happened. But anyway. Goofed. Yeah, I just fully goofed.
Mine is incredibly similar because it was that I had Pokemon Blue, which was like I played Blue,
Red.
Red and Yellow. Yeah. But yeah, I liked Blue more for some reason. They weren't different, I don't think. Really.
That's small differences.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. But I was like, I think I had like done really, really well and was like at the final stage of it or something.
Yeah.
Where like I had played multiple times, but this was like, I was nailing this one and I had like all my favorite Pokemon and all this shit and was going to like the final boss stuff. And I like dropped my cartridge in water somehow. I don't remember what happened, but it got wet.
Jesus.
And it was like back then you couldn't get those things wet. Yeah. Like now you can drop a fucking phone in the toilet and it's fine. Which is like Brad put his AirPods through the washing machine and they still work.
Yeah.
But I dropped it or spilled water on it and it just like was done. Like I put it in my Game Boy and it would not work. And I tried it in like 2 other ones. And I remember just like literally bawling, like alone in like the bathroom, I think, because it was like the only place to be private because there was a bunch of people in the house then and being like, this is my life's work.
Yeah. My life's work.
This is everything I've been doing because I hadn't probably playing it for months. Like,
yeah. I remember having that happen on Star Fox 64 and I kept it on. I remember I was doing a level and I was in the middle of it and I asked my mom, I was like, can I keep this on forever? And she was like, yeah. I don't know. She didn't know. But anyway, I kept it on for like probably like 6 hours and we went out and did something and I came back and it was like,
back to it.
Yeah. And it actually still worked. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah. They made those things hardy.
They did. It is pretty wild though. Like we couldn't back up any of this information. Like that's actually a big deterrent for me around playing games now. Is that there's just so much to it. You gotta be online. Like I don't know. There's just like so many items going on. Oh. Everyone, for our audio only listeners, Cam is chasing down a cat.
I don't know if you saw, but she just tried to jump on the windowsill to get up.
Oh.
And she fell. Yeah, so I kicked her out of the room.
Well, that'll be a good reel later.
Yeah.
What happened when podcast with cat?
With X. The cat's name is X. Yep. X23. Anyway.
Yeah.
Wait, I was going to ask more nostalgia questions. Unless you have other things you want to say about what you were just talking about. Which I admit I wasn't listening because I was chasing a cat out of my room.
No, there's nothing else to say. I'll tell you.
Okay. What's a game that you wish you could re-experience for the first time?
Oh, damn. What a good question.
Thank you so much.
You should get a podcast. Damn, that was a good one. Dude, what a fucking great question.
God, thank you. I know.
I'm trying to think. Kingdom Hearts. Easy.
God. The first one was like, holy shit.
Fucking Kingdom Hearts. I love those nails.
But also, did you... God, I need to take the nail polish off. Did you play the second one?
Probably. I mean, the first one definitely was like the one for me.
The first one was it. The second one, I was like so excited for because I remember it took like a long time in between. But I was so obsessed with the first one. I played it like 10 times. Yeah.
It was one of the few games I played without a strategy guide. I was very big on strategy guides.
I never did those. So that's like weird, interesting.
My mom liked to, when I liked something, she liked to make sure I had all the stuff for it. So she knew I like video games. Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah. She knew I like video games. So for my birthday, she would get me a video game. She would buy me the strategy guide with it.
That's so cool. Huh.
It is cool. She would that was kind of her love language, was like gifts. But
same.
Yeah. But and that's probably why mine isn't gifts, is because I probably just took it for granted. But I do like receiving gifts. That's one of my I do enjoy that.
The Coin Corner now has a PO box, and no, just kidding. Maybe one day.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I was gonna say, I want anything from you all. But what?
The second one is like, I don't know how much you remember of it, but I remember being really pissed at it initially, and I ended up coming around to it. But you're not Sora in the beginning of the second one. You're like that other character, Roxas, and you have to like putz around Twilight Town doing literal chores.
Yeah, people hate the second one. I watch speedruns of Kingdom Hearts sometimes, and yeah, people fucking hate it. Because you're delivering packages, literally, or letters or something.
Yeah, you're delivering mail on a skateboard. It's terrible. Like you gotta get through the Twilight Town part to get to the good stuff.
The thing about the first one that was so amazing was finding out all the people you were gonna meet. It was shocking.
Oh, all the Disney movies you get to interact with?
Yeah, like Jack Skellington World. Holy shit.
Oh god. Halloween Town I was like, can I just stay here? Like it went too fast.
Pretty amazing. Tarzan World, cool. What?
I was gonna say that. Tarzan World was sick, and then I had an entire Tarzan N64 game that, like, when I was a kid, I was absolutely obsessed with. One of the better Disney games, I think. Yeah. I mean, the Aladdin one was also a classic, but
that was very good. I watch speedruns of that pretty often.
The Aladdin one?
Yeah, it's a really fun one to watch.
Maybe I'm not the same as you with speedruns, but you know which game I would replay for the first time, because the first time that I tried to Twitch stream, I played it on there.
Well, I remember you Twitch streamed like years ago, and it was some kind of like like a puzzle game or something. But are
It's
you
a,
talking about GoldenEye?
vampire.
Are you talking about GoldenEye?
No.
trying to
Vampire
think
the
of-
Masquerade.
No. I'm trying to think of what game you would. What game? I'm trying to think. We played.
I'm saying Vampire the Masquerade right now.
Oh, it was that one.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was just like a goofy game. You're like, I'm gonna do it.
No, that's like the one that I did on Twitch. That's my favorite like video game besides like BioShock and stuff. I mean, it's a computer game, but Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. It's the best
We should play it.
PC game in the world.
Did you have fun
I mean, I've
replaying
played-
it?
Yeah, I've played it like 20 times, but I need to replay it as like the one class that I've never played. Probably I should do that on Twitch or something.
Yeah, you should. I think people would really enjoy it.
Well,
To be honest.
should we talk about your news since you talked about speedruns here?
There's some big news out there, people, and I think that there'll be 6 people in the audience that are going to really care about this. But we've alluded to this a couple of times. I enjoy watching people do competitive speedruns of video games.
Yes.
I think it's cool. It's very, I would say it's very athletic. It's very competitive. So Mario 64 is kind of like one of the best ones
The
to
main
watch.
one.
Obviously.
And to be clear, I don't care about watching speedruns. I like listening to people talk about things that they're excited and passionate about. And I don't give a shit what it is. If you're like stoked, I'm gonna be like, hell yeah, tell
Hell
me about
yeah.
it, and I'll ask questions. Yeah.
So
like that's why I encourage this, because I'm like, you are so into them. Like how many times I log into my YouTube that we share, and there's like the little like
gotta watch it.
now playing or whatever, and it's like speedrun shit.
It's so cool because the category has been going on for a long time, or the game has been going on for a long time, and it's been really optimized. And recently there was a thing that was found that has been a meme in the world forever. So at the end in Rainbow Ride, there's a carpet. Do you remember this? Do you remember the carpet?
No, and Rainbow Ride. You gotta break things down like someone's never on Rainbow Road. What are you talking about?
All right. At the end of the game, there's
Yeah.
a level. I think it's called Rainbow Ride. I can't remember the name of the level. There's a level, and it's in the sky. It's the very end of the game. And there's a carpet. You have to get onto the magic carpet, and you take it all the way up to the top, then you get a star.
Is it on a track or do you control the carpet?
No, it's on a track. So all you do is you just get on and you sit on it. And it takes about, I don't know, a minute and a half
There's
or
no
something.
obstacles. You just get on a magic carpet and sit
I
there
mean,
for a minute.
there's some fire, there's some stuff, but it's not anything crazy.
Okay.
So there's
Just
been
sounds
a
anticlimactic is all I'm saying.
yeah, I mean it's not anything wild, of a star, but the reason why, so it was a meme because people have always been trying to figure out how to not do it because it takes like a minute or something like that to get this star on the
Oh.
carpet. It's very
So it's
long.
quite detrimental to your speed run length time. I understand.
Yeah, but I mean, I would say
Oh.
detrimental is not really you had to do it. So like it was just a part of it. It was
Yeah.
built in. Everyone had to do it. It didn't matter. And everyone would always think like, how do we skip this? Because then we'd be able to skip a minute
Yeah.
or whatever. I think it's
Huge
50
in
seconds.
speed run in speed
Massive.
run times.
And in this game, there are things that are happening where they're skipping half of a second. Like those kind of optimizations are where they're at this point. So anyway, there's these ways to do a carpetless version to get that star. Where you
I think you've
skip.
shown me one before where someone climbs Goombas.
Yes, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's like bombs. Like they take a bomb and then they go to throw it before it blows up. They grab it again, and then they do a bunch of weird shit. It's not really possible for a human being to do. It's a tool assisted thing called a task. It's like a tool assisted trick. They essentially tell a computer the items that they won. Like they use computer things to help.
That can't be legal in speed running.
It's
in the
not.
world record.
It's not.
Okay.
It's not. But it's a way to find new things.
I understand.
They're simply just trying to figure out ways to do it because pieces of that can come out and then humans can do it.
Yeah.
It's the diagnostic side of it because there's all these
Exploratory surgery. You know?
yeah, they're like, oh, this happens when this, oh, there's a thing here, there's a whatever, and that adds to the thing or whatever. So this carpetless idea has been dormant for a really long time because it's not viable for a human to do all the different carpetless versions we have. It's just done by computers.
Mhm.
Like a week ago or something, someone posted online a setup that will allow you to skip the carpet. And it's wild. So, and it's happening. Like people are doing it. And it was simply just like a setup. And there's this like way you can climb the tower via like these like pause buffering inputs and stuff. And
I don't even know what that means.
yeah, it's a lot of weird tech here. And
A lot of jargon here that the barrier for entry is high.
the concept though is that, like I was saying before we got talking, like it was like people would be like, pigs can't fly, pigs can't fly, pigs can't fly. And now it's like someone figured out how to make pigs fly. Like it was that there's no fucking way this is ever going to happen. And then it did, which is.
So what is it? Like what is it like if I was watching, I don't know what the hell was going on, what would it look like?
It's
You know
like,
what I mean?
it's like Mario goes against a wall and goes over here and then grabs a ledge and then comes off and then kicks the wall and flies back a little bit and then crouches and goes over and then lines up a piece of Mario's hair with a ledge. And then you know the setup's right. And then you do a triple jump and then catch a little piece of the wall. I don't know what that part is, but then they wall kick off of it and then they pause buffer up the thing with kicks. But they found this like setup to like they have to like hit this one certain spot of a wall, and it's like they figured out how to get a consistent setup with it, if that makes sense.
So are like we've talked about this before, but still,
Yeah, it's hard to
people
describe.
people who do this. There's obviously people who make money doing speedruns. Like Cheese is the one guy you talk about a lot.
Yeah, cheese.
I forget who else, but I know that one for sure.
Yeah.
But are people just doing this stuff as hobby, like they're hobbyist things to like figure out these things you're talking about?
I mean, no one is. Yeah. Like, there's maybe like 10 to 15 people making a living playing Mario.
Yeah, as
But
speedrunners.
it's like one of the biggest like Mario people. His name's Simply, and he's big not because of Mario, but because he's like gotten in with other Twitch people and has done things with other Twitch people. It has not to do with Mario. Cheese has been around forever. People call him the GOAT. And he really is. But so like, yeah, he does it full time, but he's very open about him barely making rent and stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
I just imagine it's like the biggest time commitment. Even people who are doing it as a hobby, like, because to figure out something like this thing you just described has to take like
it does. That's hobbyist
long time.
stuff because there's nobody funding that. But when Cheese gets on a run, so like when
Cheese gets on a run.
I was gonna say, so
There's
like
no stopping him.
There's no stopping him. Like the longest category, 120 star, is an hour and 36 minute long, or an hour and 37 minute long speedrun. It's an hour and 37 minutes of constant playing.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And like fucked up playing.
Hard.
It's not
the highest
it's not
level.
Straight. They're like you're doing weird shit the whole time.
It's the highest level that you can play the game at. So I guess what I'm saying is like, if Cheese is on a run and he's 50 minutes in, people are going to come into the thing and go and like watch it.
Yeah.
He'll have 3,000 people watching. So like
God, the stress.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, that's the whole point. That's why I said it's athletic, is because when you're in an hour and 40 minutes and you're on world record pace and you have 3,000 people and it's climbing and you have 4,000 people in your chat watching you and everyone's in the comments like, I was here, oh my God. And then other streamers are watching your stream in their chat and you know that that's happening. Like, it sounds like I know I'm gonna get made fun of for saying this, but that is like why I do think that Cheese is like the fucking best, is because he can keep that like he doesn't get fucked up under that pressure. And I think that's a very athletic thing. Like
I don't disagree, for the record. I wasn't gonna make fun of you. I was gonna say it sounds like it's like a NASCAR driver, which people don't think is an athletic thing either. But like those drivers have to sit there against constant G-force and not pass out.
So
and like
one of the things about this new carpetless thing that is crazy is that it's a minute of rest. It's the only minute of rest you have in an entire run. And this comes out about in the last 10 minutes of the speed run. So you've been going for an hour and a half at this point.
So it takes away your only rest period to do this workaround.
Yeah, exactly. And that, oh my God. And that kind of sucks. Like in a lot of ways it sucks. We haven't done a run with that yet.
The team?
We as a community.
Yeah, you said me and Cheese.
Me and Cheese. But like there hasn't been a full run up in the recording of this podcast with that in it. But you have to remember, like, in order to even get an attempt at it, you have to get to an hour and a half of the run, and that rarely happens.
So he has to practice it before he can debut it.
Yeah, and then he's got to get to a point where he's like, if he's on fucking world record pace, does he do a brand new strat that he can fuck up? Does he not?
But probably. Gamble. That's
the
name of the game, baby.
So I don't know.
This is why.
This is what I like. This is what I like about it.
And I feel like this circles back to, thank you for the news of the week.
Hey, you're so welcome.
The hot topics of speedrunning. And now we can circle back into more broad things for everyone to enjoy. This is why, like, I don't play many video games now. I mean, I don't at all. But like, why I fell out of it, because I would get too stressed out, especially by like anything that wasn't just like a single player kind of like narrative driven thing. I would just get too stressed out, and like, why do I want to do something in my leisure time that's going to stress me the fuck out?
Yeah.
Like the amount of times that like Brad's out there playing Tarkov or something and is like cursing or whatever, and I'm like, aren't you supposed to be like chilling? Like,
yeah. You know, I want to say one more thing about Super Mario 64 real quick, speedruns. I have one more thing I want to throw in there, is that so right now, Cheese is like tired. He's like, I don't want to do it anymore. Baby
needs a break.
Baby needs a break. There's these new runners coming in. There's this one, his name's Green Soiji. And I've told you about him.
Soiji.
That's his name. He's a kid. He's like fucking 18. And he's doing perfect runs, like literal perfect, no mistake runs. There's this new wave of players that were born after the game came out, and it is wild how far they're pushing it. So right now it's funny to watch Carpetless, because these new wave of runners are like, obviously we're gonna do it.
Yeah,
but you can just feel Cheese is like, God damn it,
game. I don't want to do this anymore.
You know, Cheese does a lot of old strats, but he's so good and consistent at it that he still does them. You know?
It's hard when the new blood comes in.
It's so, I don't know. Being a fan of it right now is really fun, because there's this new little wave of people coming in and like pushing the game further. And this is massive. This is going to push it. This is like, I don't even know what to compare it to. This is such a big thing to happen in the game. Huge.
It's like it's a new chapter in it for you, because
the biggest
it just sounds like there hasn't been like a new strat.
The biggest time saved before this was like, I think it was like called chip clip, and it saved 4 seconds or something. This is like a minute. Anyway. But yeah. Anyway, what we were saying about Brad, yeah, that's why I don't play games anymore either, is because this is what happens. Because then I get fucking...
This is fine. You're being a fan, and you're excited about other people's achievements. You're not sitting at the computer for, 12 plus hours a day doing this until you're like I'm going nuts or whatever at the game, which I think is like one time I forget what game he was playing, but one time Brad broke a keyboard.
God.
Because he got so mad at a game, something happened that he slammed it, and he I remember I was away and he texted me and was like, had to get a new keyboard, and I was like, what? Do you spill something? And he was like, no, I broke it playing this game.
That should be on a
recently. He was gonna re-download it, but he was like, I'm worried about it, and I was like, don't get it then.
This should be on an Instagram page called Just Cis Guy Things instead of Just Girly Things.
Yeah, got so mad at probably some Skyrim thing that I broke a keyboard. I don't fucking know.
God, it's insane. Yeah, I'm actually excited about Final Fantasy VII. The part 2 of it. I think it's called Rebirth. I can't remember. But I'm very excited about that.
Out.
Yeah, it's coming out soon. Some people hate it. Some people love it. Most people don't like it. I think it's amazing. They did a great job.
Wait, now I'm confused. It didn't come out yet, but you think it's amazing?
Well, sorry. But part 1 came out and people have some gripes. But I thought it was great.
Okay.
But yeah, so the part 2 comes out in February, I think. Just in time for my birthday.
Hey now. Do you have a PS5? I'm not gonna get you a PS5. But
yeah, I do.
Well, maybe we'll get you another gaming console for your birthday.
Nope, I don't need it. I don't want it. Do not want it.
You'd play it. If you had an N64, you wouldn't play Super Mario?
See, that's actually okay. That's
Mario
a good
64?
question. I would, but it's the same. I was doing a baby any percent Mario Odyssey speedrun, and I loved it. It's so fucking fun. You're beating your own times, you're learning strats. It's so fun. But I just stop because it takes over your life. So honestly, if I had a fucking N64 and I had Super Mario 64, God, I would just play it all day long. So I
what if
keep
you just
that
played
stuff
for
away.
fun? Fun and leisure.
I can't replay a game like that though.
Oh.
It doesn't.
I guess also it's not you can't choose different story paths necessarily.
Yeah, it's
games.
I watched the game. Love Luigi Mansion, but I'm not gonna sit there and replay a Luigi Mansion. I already know the whole game.
I don't know. I would replay BioShock, but I kill all the little sisters.
Yeah,
because I've replayed that game. BioShock's one of my other favorite games. I've replayed that so many times, and every time I'm I'm gonna be bad this time, and I'm not gonna save the little sisters and all this stuff. And then the choice comes, and I'm like, oh, I can't do it.
Yeah. You played Borderlands, right?
Yeah. Brad and I were big into Borderlands 1 and 2. We used to play co-op games all the time.
I love co-op, a couch co-op. Love it.
Yeah. It is fun.
What class did you play in that?
I'm always tank.
Was that
it's funny because in World of Warcraft
or something.
The guy's name is Brick. I'm pretty sure.
Brick.
I don't know the dude that just goes in and does melee.
I love it. What does Brad play as?
He's usually ranged. He likes to be the snipery kind of whatever.
I love it. Little Zero.
It's different in D&D, but D&D
is so hard for me to get into.
We'll make you do it one day.
I don't know. It's just for me. It's just hard.
I think you just haven't played the appropriate game. We've had this conversation a million times. We don't have to get into it. Let's do a final video game thought.
I like them.
On this.
I like them. That's my final thought.
I like them. Is there if you had one system, if you could if you were interested in playing video games, but you could only have one system,
okay,
PC included, what would it be?
Probably PC because Mini Motorways. That's my favorite game right now.
Jesus Christ. Still?
Yeah, because it's the least. It's not gonna goof me up in the head. Do you know what I mean?
No. Explain that.
If I get Final Fantasy X, I'm gonna get so goofed up in the head because I'm gonna play Final Fantasy X. I'm gonna put, Yuna through Lulu's Sphere Grid. You know how much fucking time that takes?
No, I don't.
Exactly. And that's why I'm not gonna do it. Because I'm not gonna have a life. And I am a part of the capitalist machine. I'm a part of the cog.
Yeah.
So I have to have a life. Do you see what I mean?
We're
by
all
this?
cogs in the Rencorp wheel.
I'm a proud cog of the wheel.
Yeah.
I'm currently trying to find the outro music.
Oh,
So-
good. I'll keep talking.
So
I think I'd make mine a Game Boy.
yeah.
Yeah. One of the first games that, besides Pokemon, that I was like, holy shit about was Link's Awakening. And I was just obsessed with that on the Game Boy. And I would play that anytime.
See, for me, I didn't really like Zelda. I've talked about this many times, but my mom said that the game is too hard for me. I've talked about
Damn,
this.
she calls you dumb.
Yeah, she did.
She
But it
says
messed
you're
me
a
up.
Stupid little girl.
It messed me up. All right, let's play this Bob.
Being
It's gonna be too
bad
no,
at it,
we're at a good volume actually for Bob. People, we're getting used to an online version of this.
it won't be consistent.
We gotta do sometimes. Well, do you want to say the outro? We do have an outro, right?
Yeah. How does it start? You go first.
Oh God, I have it written down. Hold on. If you're shucked, or if
You're creamed?
no bones about it.
Yep. No bones and corn. That's it.
All right, everybody. Well, no bones and corn. Thank you so much for being a part of it.